How would you describe Trump's relationship with Vladimir Putin?
I think Putin thinks he can play him like a fiddle. When you're dealing with somebody like Putin who has made his life understanding Russia's strategic position in the world against Donald Trump, who doesn't enjoy reading about these issues or learning about them, it's a very difficult position for America to be in.
Well, that was former National Security Advisor John Bolton and some of his explosive claims from his new book. Some say he broke the law by revealing confidential information. The book, titled The Room Where It Happens, hits bookstores this coming Tuesday. But that takes barring that this court order doesn't stop it from being released. And here you see the original cover. Well, the RNC drew up their own version of the cover, mocking the title, The Room Where It Didn't Happen, trying to salvage one's career, egomaniac, warmonger, and liar. And President Trump tweeting, quote, Bolton's book, which is getting terrible reviews, is a compilation of lies and made-up stories, all intended to make me look bad. Many of the ridiculous statements he attributes to me were never made. Pure fiction, just trying to get even for firing him like the sick puppy he is, end quote. Well, President Trump clearly not very happy, but is it appropriate for a former National Security Advisor to reveal private conversations with the president? Let's ask our company, Republican strategists Lauren Claffey and Sery. Ladies, thanks for coming back.
Thanks so much
for having us.
All right. Well, content aside, I think the fundamental issue is here just that. Did he cross a line by exposing confidential conversations that he has had with the president or how he's advised him in this book? Sery, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so he absolutely did, because the first and foremost thing that people need to understand is that there is a clearance process for sensitive information. No one is barring John Bolton or anybody who works in the national security space from publishing a book. But the reason why you submit it to the process, which John Bolton himself did, is that you need to make sure that information is vetted for our security purposes. And what John Bolton is choosing to do is that he's willing to submit himself to the process. But if it doesn't meet his $5 million book advance timeline, then he's just going to pull himself out of it. And that's the exact problem.
Yeah, there is a timeline issue here. But Lauren, do you think that he crossed the line?
I think that there's some norms here that normally happen that he's kind of violated. It's generally frowned upon for advisors to do tell-alls while the current administration is still in power. And so there's been other advisors, high-profile press secretaries. George Stephanopoulos comes to mind with the Clinton administration that's also written books like this. And it hasn't gone over well because you really don't want to be revealing any information that can put the current administration at a disadvantage to our adversaries overseas. And I think that beyond the information being classified or not classified, and I think we will definitely see that play out at the court. There's a lot of different opinions about that. There is still sensitive information that was revealed in this book that talks about ongoing, very sensitive national security issues with China and Iran and other players that I think that actually does pose a little bit of a problem, regardless of if it's classified or not.
Lauren, you just hit the nail on the head, because right now you've got Putin and Xi out there who are realizing now how they can best utilize their relationship to gain an upper hand with the president. That's very troubling. By him revealing just what the president thinks of them or how he thinks he's going to deal with them, that's a huge strategic advantage to our adversaries. And what you just said, I think, is the most critical thing. And this is what Bolton has done regardless. Let me play you guys what White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany said on this issue.
This book is full of classified information, which is inexcusable. Former National Security Advisor John Bolton should know all too well that it's unacceptable to have highly classified information from the government of the United States in a book that will be published. It's unacceptable. It has not gone through the review process.
See, here's the thing, Sery, and I know you mentioned this. I don't care about that process in the sense that, you know, to Lauren's point, if you're giving our adversaries a discussion that you have advised the president about how to deal with Russia or China, that by its very nature may not meet the specifications of classified, but it sure gives our adversaries some kind of strategic advantage on how to deal with the United States and President Trump specifically.
I mean, I agree that it does give them a strategic advantage, but the one fact that people seem to forget is that John Bolton had an opportunity to testify in front of Congress when they were doing this sham impeachment of the president over the exact same geography, Russia, China, Ukraine, and some of the other salacious materials that have been leaked out the last few days. And he chose not to do so because under oath is perjury, and perjury sends you to jail. So John Bolton's opinions and his characterizations is an affront to this country. And I think if he were truly a believer in the American democracy, he should not write a book like this.
Lauren, do you think that it is because of the money that he didn't testify? He wanted to save it all for the book?
I think that at the time he was hoping that he would be forced to testify. He later confirmed that his deputy or his advisor for Russia, Fiona reported to Bolton at the NSC. So he confirmed later that what she was saying under oath was correct. So I do think it would have been helpful. I think the Republican senators were not going to subpoena him, and he viewed it as immaterial anyways. I think it probably would have benefited him to do so, especially with this book. I do think there probably is a little bit of a revenge aspect here, bad blood and stuff. But I can't say whether or not he should have testified or if it was money. I'm not going to disparage a public servant.
Yeah, I get that, but I just don't know. I mean, look, your point is well taken. He could have testified. The only thing that seems to be preventing him from testifying is the fact that he had an X $1 million advance sitting in his pocket that would have gone through. If he put it all in the testimony, no one would be buying the book, right? And I think that's the big problem here. So I get it. There's a legal issue that the White House is trying to fight it out, but I think there's a moral issue that's bigger. No president's going to want to talk to their national security advisor anymore, knowing that they're going to write a book. So. Look, we'll be able to let's touch base on this next week and see where we are. Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks so much.
All right, well, that's our show. Greg Kelly Reports is up next.
Yeah, be sure to tune in to us tomorrow. California Congressman Devin Nunes joins us along with Joe Concha, Heidi Collins, and David Horowitz, who's out with a new book that the president has just praised. Will all be here. It's going to be a great show. Thanks for being part of our company. We hope to see you tomorrow.